Yes. Hello, I'm Stewart McGill, Chief Instructor, along with Leo Nagao here of Urban Krav Maga. And today we're going to interview Leo about basically his martial arts career, what he's doing across here in the UK, and why he's doing it. So, Senor Nagao, okay,
Yes,
so what is your full name, sir? Can you tell us?
Yeah, it's Leonardo Costa da Silva.
Okay, so they shorten that to Leo Nagao. And what does that mean?
Means a big black guy.
Alright then, so Leo Nagao means big black Leo. So they fought long and hard about that one before they gave you that one, yeah?
I think, yeah.
Yeah, okay. So,
you can say so.
So, tell us about your martial arts career. When did you start training and where?
So I started training in Castle Grace. My first time I went to the BJJ was for Castle Grace. This I was around 14 to 15 years old. So yeah, quite a few years ago.
Cool.
Only a few.
Yeah. So like Marvin Hagel, you've been 28 for about 6-7 years.
Yeah. So
okay.
I'm 29 now, so.
Yeah, you're doing well on it.
I'm gonna do it.
Alright, cool. And why did you start training? What made you train in the first place?
Like everyone else, isn't it? You train for self-defense.
And so the part of Rio you grew up with, was that an issue?
We can say so.
Yeah.
The favela there is not that easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
So things can go really bad, so anytime. So, you know, and then you need to know how to defend yourself. And then Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was on time, was sort of like the best martial arts around there. So then I started to do it.
So it's interesting you say that, because a lot of people think about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as being basically a sport.
No,
but certainly whenever you trained with Carlson Gracie, there was a strong self-defense element, wasn't
there? Yeah, it was. Yeah, of course, it was more something like we start. Then Carlson Gracie was the style was more like a Vale Tudo, something like everything goes. When someone comes to throw the kicks on the ground, the knees on the ground, everything. You know, so you normally start to learn how to defend yourself in any kind of situation.
Right, and so we'll talk about the Vale Tudo in a minute. Give us a brief summary of your martial arts career since you trained with Carlson Gracie.
Oh, man. So I was on the team. I was sparring for Victor Belfort, for Murilo Bustamante, for what's the name, Carlão, for Valide Ismael, for Amaury Bittetti, Zemari sparring, you know, all the big names there. Was training for Castle Grace, was Castle Grace students, and then I was training for them.
And you were World Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion a few times, yeah?
Yeah, a few times, and a world champion too.
Okay, cool. Now most people do associate you with Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, or BJJ, but you did fight quite a bit in Vale Tudo as well, didn't you?
Yeah, a few ones in Sweden on a gym, a few ones in Brazil on the gym, some ones in the street.
Sure.
Yeah, and then some MMA competition too. I was disqualified because I didn't know so much of the rules, and then, you know, over pressure you do what you train. So. Yeah,
it's a very important concept actually. You do actually fight how you train. So I remember that fight whenever you took the guy down, and in Vale Tudo certainly a knee to the head is acceptable, but it wasn't in that particular competition you were in.
Actually, I was trained for fighting in was in America. Was a competition there, so no who's bar competition over there in the garage.
Yeah. And
then I was trained for that, and then and then my friend said, oh, let's go to London. Probably I get a fight for you there. It's okay, let's do it. Then I went to him on press conference. That's a few years ago, and then my English was very bad. I didn't understand fuck all, and then I said, you know what, we go to the end. That's it. And then happened the knee and the head, and then I said why. I didn't understand why I was disqualified. That guy back in the days was the third I think it was 84 kilos I was fighting. 84 kilos. He was the third best in the world, and then I beat him up in less than 1 minute.
Yeah, I think people were quite surprised in that fight, because I remember you going with a couple of left and right combinations. I remember actually working there with you myself a few times. Yeah, for someone who's got...
I remember.
Yeah, that's right, a long time ago now, bro. But certainly, your boxing is not bad.
Yeah, because that was figure, because like I say, I was sparring for Victor Belfort.
Yeah.
And then I was tank was Oscar De La Hoya's coach, was teacher as in Brazil boxing. So my boxing background, you know, since 16 years old to now. Yeah, so I have, you know, I have been training box a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you can certainly bang, no doubt about that. So,
Yeah.
So would you say that your Vale Tudo experience has helped in forging what we try to do, which is trying to adapt positional martial arts into a kind of comprehensive self-defense system? Has that helped?
Of course, because that was the focus on Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. We say the old school Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu was more about real fight, self-defense 99%. What now they start to do more sport Jiu-Jitsu, means a lot of rules. You can do the toe hold, I think toe holds allowed, but no heel hooks, no neck crank, not this, back and this, everything goes in competition.
Because Vale Tudo does mean basically anything goes.
Anything goes. You're ready to go to, when you went to a competition, Vale Tudo, you're ready to die. It's not to tap out. People think about it, if everything goes, I'm gonna tap out. Oh, it has a time limit. No, you don't have a time limit. You're there to finish up the fight. But all my jiu-jitsu was more based in self-defense. You know, if someone comes to grab from behind, or if someone comes to punch you, or if someone comes to stab you, what you want to do, because that's the reality on the street.
Cool.
Right? You don't want to train for something you're never going to use.
Yeah, sure. Right, what we'll do, we'll take a little break now, and we'll go ahead and film a quick technique of a kind of Vale Tudo background, and we'll maybe talk about some of the differences between Vale Tudo and Jiu-Jitsu. So we'll take a quick break, and we'll film this technique for you.
Alright guys, so let's talk about side control in the street. Well, things to never do in the street here, try to grab the guy there and leave your neck here, or else the guy can start to bite you and work it here. So what we're going to do, first of all, hand it there, and make sure that elbow here don't gonna be in my way anymore. He don't wanna use that hand anymore, right? So that hand's already gone. So here I have an elbow, right? Try to throw me for that side, sure. He don't throw me because that hand is there. If the hand underneath from my body here, in case the guy can start to throw me there and work, so I'm gonna lose the balance. So make sure you don't have that leg here, that arm there underneath of my body. My left hand is there to block his neck here, to bite me. I control that hand here and start to work. Whoop here, there, can work few things from here. Right? My good attack here, when the guy tries to defend the mount, is coming there to attack that foot to there. Right here, I move there to go for the attack. Did you see here? My elbow, I'm gonna push his leg there. Right? Right hand on the toes, left hand on the toes, on his trainers, whatever, and then I keep his ankle on the ground, pressure, and break. Okay, guys, another trick situation here. The guy holding me there, he starts to throw a couple of hammer fists here, and then you can focus here. He has his right hand attacking me here. His left hand is busy here. So the first thing I want to do is break his posture. So when he throw the punch there, I'm going to come up, bring him down. Right, it means now, for him to punch me again, he needs to push the ground, to lift up his body here, to have a nice angle to punch me again. So when he move there to punch me, watch the block, one escape here. See my block? Hand it there, hand it here, to the head. Right? Take a look at that. I have a few options. I can throw his head to the side. Alright? Come from my right hand here. Just to grab it there. And swing my hand from here. Right? If the guy don't want to tap in that position, my left hand is going to get in there. Lock here. Pressure. He's going to tap. If the guy don't tap on that movement, he's very, very, very tough guy. Some guys can resist here. You're going to make the grip. Once you make the grip here, open your legs, escape the hip, move. Once I move, watch that my back. My back is going to go that way here to throw the submission. One more time, sure. So that's not allowing the Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but it's allowing the Vale Tudo. Right, so once he come there, right, block here, and come there. I always remember sometimes the guy can recoil So keep the elbow here. Right? From there, here, move. Break his posture. Alright? Watch now. He has his hand in the ground and he's going to try to push the ground. My hand is going to come there. You see here? My hand there. That way. Not here. That way. Gonna make me strong. First movement. Here, lock. Hit top. Second movement. Grab that. Hit lock. Hit top. If the guy don't want to top, now I need to skip my hip for all the side. Just try to move the guy for that side. Hit, there we go. Right? Here, move. Take a look at my legs. Move my legs here. Put my chest on the ground. Start to go up. And submit the guy. So that's not allowed in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but you can apply for the technique on the street with someone bigger than you. You can work in I think Japan is allowed that movement. In the UK and America is a ban because you can damage the guy for life. His spine.
And we got to say with that one, extreme care. I've got a pretty strong neck, but I felt that pretty bad there, trading as slow as that. So if you work that technique, gentlemen, do it with extreme care and tap early. Don't be a hero with that one. Okay, cool. Now let's go on to the second part of the interview. Leo, I must say, before I started training with you, I had this idea that many people have as well, that you can get by in a ground confrontation by having some limited grappling skills and the ability to bite and to gouge and to nip and grab balls, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's happen all the time in the street.
Oh yeah,
remember?
Oh yeah, it's useful, but at the same time, I did discover with you quite quickly that you need a little bit more than that in a real confrontation.
Yeah, that's
with somebody who knows what they're doing.
Yeah, someone is stronger, gave you a guillotine choke or rear neck choke or triangle. You probably don't want to have all the time you think to apply for eye or whatever.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I also discovered the power of takedowns from a self-defense point of view. Because takedowns, I remember the first time you took me down, it took me about 10 seconds to realise what happened. And that was on a nice soft surface as well.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah, so that was a useful one as well. And that recovery time, I'm not going to be able to bite anybody or gouge anybody, just wondering what happened to me. So what we're going to do now, we're going to film a couple of techniques which illustrate this. So just give us a second for another little break and we shall film those techniques.
Alright, so we say the guy in front of me there, you see his right hand is a strong hand, right? So first of all, I didn't see shit, right? I'm just here and then the guy gonna throw that punch there. Right, bam, that's it, it comes straight to me here. So first I'm gonna do, tuck there. Tuck here, keep my head, my front head there, and then his belly here, right? Or his solar plex here. Right, take a look, I don't put my head down. I move here when I see that punch, whoop, tuck. Once I tuck, take a look at my hands. When I grab his knees, push all the way there, boom, you drop the guy. It's very simple, but never ever try to put your head, to look to the ground. If you look to the ground, you're already going. So my front head is there, here, right? You see, if I put my head down, resist to the push, I'm gonna go to the direction where the place that I'm looking. So I need to be here, like this. I can push the leg from my hand and move his leg in that position. So we're gonna do it in full speed. When he moves, here, get the guy down, and then I'm ready to do something else. Alright guys, so that timing now, you're gonna realize the guy can grab you too. When you go for the legs there, normally he's gonna grab me here, grab my t-shirt, and start to throw the elbows there, try to throw his knees. You see the fight start on that. So what are you gonna do? I wanna avoid his right knee when I grab, right? So I'm here, I'm gonna step for that side here. Try to throw your right knee there, sure. Right knee, no right knee here. If I'm here for the right knee, you're gonna catch me there for the right knee, probably that's gonna be the end. So what we're gonna do once he move, I'm gonna move there. You see I step for my right leg to the side. Like this one he throw the right knee. The right knee not gonna catch me here. So there I have a chance now to put the guy down. Right, once I put him down, he's gonna grab my back. Right? There I put it down, the guy gonna grab my back here. It's hard for me to get up. And normally he's gonna come there to the bite. That should bite me here. So what we're gonna do, wrap my right hand in there, come from here to there. Front your body to there, sure. Alright, so now it's quite complicated for the guy to buy me here. But I want to disengage that position, right? I don't want to be here. Knee down the bed, control the neck, so I can throw a couple of punches here with the mat in his face to get away.
Right, the point of all that is, take the guy down in a position where it is very difficult for the guy to bite, gouge or do anything. The idea that you get on the floor with someone like this, or a more moderately accomplished grappler even, and just bite and gouge your way to success, I think you need to work on your ground techniques a little bit more than that. Okay, now let's start talking about when we started working together about 7 or 8 years ago now, a little bit. Can
Yeah, we can say more than that, because I wasn't married, isn't he?
You weren't married, no.
Well, so we say around 10 years, sure.
Actually, yeah, and I still had a bit of hair in those days.
Yeah,
too.
I remember.
It wasn't grey, so I was probably about 10 years
You
ago.
don't look that. You look better now.
And, oh, thank you very much, man. I wish I could say the same. We started working together about 10 years ago, and I wanted you to go out to see you and work on some grappling skills.
Yeah.
And it's kind of moved on from there. What do you remember?
But I remember we was in BBC, on a Starbucks on the BBC, and then I have one of your students was supposed to have or he had a private class for you, and then you come to him with him to, I don't know, to do something in BBC. You know the BBC in White City?
Yeah.
Had the Starbucks there.
Mm-hmm.
And we started to talk about UFC, right? I started to talk for UFC with Andy, this and that, and then I ask you what you think about it, and then you say, oh, that UFC is a piece of crap.
No, that's not quite what it is. As a spectacle, it can be a bit dull. Yeah, I think even that can be.
And then what you told me, the guys roll around and this and that, I say, don't take me wrong about, you know, all that work they do on the ground is quite effective. Mm-hmm. But you really need to understand the body language, what they do with the body, how they escape the hips, all that kind of stuff, you know. So you need to, you know, it's completely different, but it's quite an interesting game. And and then you ask me, what? And then okay, cool. So then one day you come and then you ask me to have a private class for me, and I say why not? And then I say, but what Krav Maga is? Because I did some Krav Maga in Brazil, but was a global Krav Maga, and then it wasn't good because they was focused more on punches, this and that. But whatever, I say, okay, I don't like so much the system, whatever. And then you start showing me some your stuffs, you know, like someone comes to grab your here, to grab it there, and then I ask you, and then you ask me what you think about it. I say, in Jiu-Jitsu, in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, we say Vale Tudo, this happened that way, you know. So then you say, oh, and then we start to exchange ideas there, and then I start to show you what armbar is, what real neck choke is, and then after 5 years, something like that, or not, maybe for 3, 4 years, and then I ask you, what do you think about UFC? You say, man, it was great, did you see that fight? Oh, Thiago Pitbull from Brazil, this and that, he did this and that. I say, how? Oh, okay, now you start to like UFC, but took you maybe 3 or 4 years to have understand what is the grappling side.
Yeah, I think I understand it more now, so I do enjoy it more. I still rather watch a decent boxing to it. Yeah, I understand more what goes on, and that was useful. So, and certainly training with you has very much changed the way we train.
Yeah.
All right, for all points of view. Certainly the ground game has advanced a hell of a lot, and just the whole concept of control has advanced a lot, and indeed the concept of leverage too, which of course we'll agree is fundamental to Jiu-Jitsu.
To Jiu-Jitsu, yeah, that's
and any decent self-defense system, because some of the stuff that was around before, and some of the stuff that you're talking about, that depends on punching power. The punch ain't a great weapon in the street anyway, as we'll talk about a little bit later, because you can screw your knuckles pretty bad. But certainly the leverage concept helped us an awful lot, and you say working with us has probably changed the way you train to a certain extent.
I think in the knife or defense, I'm more confident now. On the guns, you know, if the guy has a gun, it's completely, you're out of the game. But if someone comes to attack with a knife now, I have more confidence now to try to control the guy, get control for the situation completely more than we say 5 years or 10 years ago.
Yeah, sure. If the guy's got a gun, what do we do?
Probably gonna give my wallet
Yeah,
to
the
him.
guy with
We're
the
gonna
wallet,
have
got a gun with the wallet, that's it.
yeah, I think he's in charge. So
Yeah.
I give it.
Yeah, I
I
get
give
what that
what he want. He want the money. That's no problem.
Yeah, we teach them gun defences, but that's strictly last resort sort of stuff.
Yeah,
Yeah, the
that's
guy's
for
with
sure.
a gun, then yeah, he
Yeah,
gets
it's
pretty
quite
much what he wants.
that's pretty complicated.
Yeah. So, a funny question for you here, but this a question I see discussed sometimes. If you had one technique you could do well, all right, what would that technique be?
I think the bull take it down.
The one we showed earlier,
Yeah.
where you get the guy like that and just drop him that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so because like we was talking about this back in the days, something like can be a solution for so many different problems. You know, and then sometimes it's hard for you to predict what's gonna happen really on the street. So you can drop the guy and then that's it, you drop him. So from there you can run away or else can take the best decision on the situation.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one. I like that technique because it works for smaller people against bigger people. And I've seen some big guys pull it off quite successfully as well. So
Yeah.
I go for that one. And the way the guy lands.
You can see even people now UFC on wrestling, you know, they do that technique. That technique will work pretty good.
Yeah, I like that technique. So, another question you might find a little bit odd. All right. If you had your time again, all right, and you could do one martial art, what martial art would that be?
But depends, because in our day people say do jiu-jitsu for sport, and then if you say I don't want to learn jiu-jitsu now, they do it now. But I think this is completely different what jiu-jitsu we had done back in the days, because it was more focused on punches and kicks, and someone come to grab you, or someone come to stab you, whatever the real situation. So probably today I'm gonna meet someone like you, and then try to make 3 or 4 months or on your business into London, stuff like for proper self-defense. You know, if I wanna do really proper self-defense, I come to you.
But I get that. But I think it's important that people get some kind of background in the traditional martial art, because I see quite a few people come to us who don't have any traditional background, and they don't understand some of the whole things about posture and the whole concept that we talk about a lot,
right,
of position first then technique. I think that gets lost along the way.
But your question was if I will need to choose something to do quick, right? I would say I'm a British here, I live in London, so I want to go to New York, and then after I want to go to Rio, and then Bogota, or this and that. What I'm gonna do? I'm gonna find you, and then if I go to a class, so you work on the ground, you work the knife attacks, the guns attacks, and then this and this and that. That's probably what I'm really gonna try to do. I'm gonna focus to do something like in 2 or 3 months, or 1 month, or maybe 1 or 2 lessons. I can really use.
Yeah, this goes back to a conversation we had years ago, actually, because we talked then about
to mix it up of things, you know what I mean?
And also, very few martial arts actually focus on what actually happens to 10 most common attacks. So whenever we put this together, and we did one of the first DVDs we did, we actually tried to focus on what the most common attacks were. So I kind of see it from that point of view. And obviously, I wouldn't ever say people shouldn't do urban Krav Maga. I think it's good to get a good traditional background now. In something
it's good, it's good. Something like you can see the problem now about MMA, because you see MMA, I do MMA. So okay, cool. So you do MMA. So it's quite hard. I teach MMA, but normally my fighters, one guy, he's a wrestling champion, or he's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu champion, or he's a boxing champion. I can design a game for that guy for he to be very good in different points, but he always needs to keep his strong point.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say Tyson try to submit someone on the ground. Tyson try to grab the guy, hold the guy in that position, or else he try to sweep him there, get up again, and knock out the guy. So it's easy to tell Mike Tyson. It's easy to teach Tyson to do MMA than someone just did MMA, because of what? MMA is a mix. He knows about everything. Everything maybe. It's better knows one thing, like you said, good, and then build up another things around that guy.
Yeah, I get you. I get you. Interesting stuff, mate. MMA's been around for about 23, 24 years now since the first UFC.
Yeah, so.
Do you think it's true that because of the popularity of MMA and a whole generation raised now and doing just MMA rather than some of the traditional arts, okay, which form the basis of MMA, do you think that some of the finer points of those traditional arts are being lost?
That's a big point too. Because people don't want to do only one thing nowadays. Be good, something like be a master. You say in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu like I am. I'm very good in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And then another guy very good in Thai boxing. Then we can see who's the best is. That was the beginning for the UFC, right? So the best guy from Jiu-Jitsu fight against the best guy from the Muay Thai to see the best martial arts. But people start to realize, both can work together too. You know what I mean? So things that we say, it's just the way it goes, but you need to have a base, you need to have a base, it's very important.
Okay, cool. And we'll just finish off with this question, I think. Somebody starting in martial arts, somebody come to you and said, I want to go ahead and do martial arts. What advice would you give them?
Well, it depends on how old the person is.
Let's say a kid 15, 16 just wanted to start.
15, 16. So he something probably why not? Something like try to do. But the problem with the BJJ, like I said, nowadays is completely they took another way. It's more sport. It's not 99% BJJ. If he come to me, he gonna learn the proper self-defense, right? So else he can come to you and learn the global defense, right? Because if you have guns, you attack through the guns, all that kind of stuff. So they can come to us, man. Do some class for me, some class for you. Be alright.
Yeah, they're always welcome.
They're always welcome.
So, now you're teaching these days down in Vauxhall in South
yeah.
West London, and you're doing some seminars across the country as well.
Yeah, and then I had some MMA fighters too. They was fighting UFC MMA and Casual Warriors. Here in the country, gonna take the Ouch fight and jungle fight in Brazil, and then American too.
What sort of guys are coming to your class? Are these guys generally want to fight or want self-defense or a little bit of both?
A lot of bankers, a lot of traders.
Yeah.
They look for self-defense and fighters too. Fighters, ground. And then stand up like boxing too, because you can say I did a lot of boxing. So, I can teach you that now.
Alright, and certainly there's a lot of Brazilians who go to your class as well.
Yeah, a few ones.
Yeah, so you've got a few Brazilian population.
Brazil, yeah.
Okay, sir, thank you very much indeed for that. I hope you guys have found that interesting. Yes. Alright, thank you very much for all that stuff. And thanks for the last 10 years.
It's a cool way, isn't it?